Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Akil, and I just got done watching season 14 of One Piece, guys, which basically covers all of Marineford as well as what happens after that, otherwise known as the post war arc. And I'll be honest with you guys, going into this season, I was pretty hyped up for what people were saying, like, this is one of the best arcs of anime and all that. Unfortunately, though, and this is just my own personal opinion, guys, obviously, Marineford disappointed me. However, the stuff with post war arc, the flashback stuff, that was really good. So there's that. Like I enjoyed the stuff after the war instead of the actual war, and I explained why. But there will be no spoilers, so don't worry about that, guys. But basically, it takes place right after the breakout of Impel Down, and basically there's a war going on in Marineford, and Luffy basically have to save his brother Ace from dying, and this had so much emotion, like especially towards the end. It was crazy and what was really going on, and it just felt like Achiro Oda knew how to make it very grand and epic. But for me personally, I wasn't so blown away by it, if that kind of makes sense. Like I liked seeing some familiar faces again and all that in this big battle, but while it is meant to be, I guess, like the climax and pinnacle of of the show or the anime, I guess, the story, the halfway mark literally, because after this is the time skip, I should say, like after 2 years, even though like for whatever reason the anime didn't take a 2 year break, it just kept going on the following week, I believe, right? So there's that, but overall, like this war was like crazy, it had emotion on that, but it wasn't something that was super blown away by, like I said before. But it was cool seeing again familiar faces again. The flashback stuff was great. I really like how they handled it. Luffy, Ace, and Sabo as kids, and now I know who Sabo is. I'm like, who is this Sabo guy? And now I know who he is. So there's that. Now, in terms of the three things I did like in this arc, uh, I guess the season overall, the action was great. It was really great for the most part. The characters I really liked, especially when it came to young Luffy, young Ace, and young Sabo in the end of the season, I guess the latter half of the season, if you will. And I also really like the emotion. Like, there's some emotional moments in this season which I also really do like. Now, let's get on to the negatives. My biggest gripe with Marineford, and this is just me, there was not a single Straw Hat member involved. Now, I did say there'll be no spoilers, but if you have been watching my other One Piece reviews and know what, have been watching One Piece up to this point, you will know that One Piece is about the Straw Hat crew members and Luffy and his crew going on this adventure across the Grand Line, etc. One Piece, him wanting to become the King of Pirates, etc. etc. There was none of that this season. Like, yes, obviously it was a massive detour because of what happened inside Sabo the archipelago, but this arc was very Luffy centric once again, just like it was in Impel Down and Amazon Lily. Yeah, this is the third season in a row where Luffy is really the only Straw Hat crew member we see the most of. And I kind of feel bad for, like, the voice actors who voice the other characters. Like, oh man, are getting paid less? But anyway, it was still a very interesting change of pace, but it does make me wonder, like, is this show really all about Luffy? Because while I do love Luffy, like, he's still my favorite character of the show, like, I love seeing him interact with the other crew members. Like, that's what makes One Piece so special. And that's why I like certain shows like Suits. I know I'm straying away from anime like Suits and Stranger Things and even other shows I've seen in the past, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Like, I love the group dynamic. Here, the group dynamic is so strong, even in Fairy Tail as well. But without that group, it feels strange. And there were some characters this season that I wasn't really the biggest fan of. So the biggest issue I had with this season is that the Straw Hat crew member were not involved in the war, which is why I still prefer the war in Alabasta. If you want to call it a war, I do, because to me it felt like a war. And because you got to see like all the members getting on the action, this was just Luffy and a bunch of guys he teamed up with in Impel Down to help. So there's that. And when you don't really care much about them at all, like Eva, I'm not the biggest. I really don't care for the character. Jinbei as well. Like, I'm starting to get attached to. It doesn't really hold that high, like high stakes, if you know what I mean. So there's that. Now, besides that, another thing I also didn't really like was some of the choices they made in terms of the fights. Like some parts it will be like, oh, this is really cool, and then they just cut away from that. And sometimes you don't even see what happens to the characters. So there's that. And third and final positive is that the pacing was off. It was very off. Even the stuff in the post-war arc just kept dragging on. But overall, guys, I enjoyed season 14 of One Piece. Marineford was disappointing, but I liked it. And it is my favorite arc of the whole Summit War saga, which is now the sixth saga of the show done. Yes, next up is Fishman Island, I believe, which is entirely season 15, which also includes Return to Saba or the Archipelago. I'll be starting that on Friday, watching the first 5 episodes. I should be done by like mid-September, like September 12th. We'll see what happens. And of course, I'll be watching other stuff as well. The One Piece live action show is actually coming up pretty soon, actually in a couple of weeks. Ahsoka, Loki season 2, we just got trailer for that. Wheel of Time season 2, and a bunch of other stuff as well. Of course, movies, we'll see what happens with that. Those movies, the movies that come out, like TMNT, I don't think I'll see in theaters, but I do want to see at some point because I've been hearing nothing but great things so far, so there's that. But guys, One Piece season 14 was disappointing, but I still enjoyed it overall. So as a final score, I'm gonna give season 14 of One Piece a 7 out of 10. Still had fun with it. Yes, Marineford could have been better, but it was still really, really cool to see more of Luffy, more of Ace, and some other characters I don't want to spoil who appeared in this season as well. But guys, it was fun talking about season 14 for the time we had today. But now I'm ready for the time skip stuff, what happens after. I hope the show improves because everything post Andy's Lobby to me, like Thriller Bark season 10, everything this year that I watched, 11, 12, 13, and now 14, have all been just good. Nothing great or spectacular. Like, I still think Water 7 is the peak of One Piece. I'm still waiting for an arc and a season to overbeat it. But who knows? It could be Fishman Island, it could be something that I watch in the future. But guys, those are my thoughts on One Piece season 14, guys. Overall disappointing but still good. What do you guys have to say for Marineford and post-war as well? Tell me all that in the comments down below, guys. As always, don't forget to like this video, comment down below. As I just said before, I don't know why I'm repeating, but it is what it is. Thanks for watching. My name is Akio, otherwise known as the Comic Director, and I'm signing out.